Hey, it's Enigma, and today, well, I wanted to talk about something that, well, realistically speaking, I should have talked about this when it happened. So long story short, one of my earlier videos and one of my earlier montage intros that I ended up doing was in a game called Super Mecha Champions. This is a game that was developed by NetEase, and it is, well, it was one of my personal favorites to just like sit down and play. I primarily just loved it because I still hold a record about, well, an undefeated streak. That was up until the game shut down in, I believe it was January 20th of 2025. It literally shut down this year. And out of curiosity, I just decided to just come back to Steam and to see just if people were still talking about it. And I stumbled upon this post. I'm gonna turn the webcam off just for a little bit so that you could see what it is that I'm talking about. The post says, what killed the game? Was it the bugs? Was it the cheaters? Was it the lack of advertisement? Was it Fortnite or the fact that battle royales aren't a thing anymore? So this is something that's up for discussion, and it is, well, it's debatable because here's the thing. With Super Mecha Champions, that game wasn't as heavily advertised as other games, which could be the reason why they shut it down. But primarily, even with small bits of advertising, a game can be successful even with just one post. But that primarily revolves around how the game was developed, as well as just how much care went into producing the game. So I'm just going to be talking about some of these little topics. So in my opinion, the lack of advertisements and the lack of meaningful updates outside of new mechs. So as I just mentioned, if a game isn't properly maintained, then people are going to stop playing the game. This is another one which kind of threw me off. Cheaters, no action towards those cheater, ruin the fun. Imagine getting spam grenade or get shoot from below the ground. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and straight up say it's shot, not shoot. But here's the thing, with cheaters, I never stumbled upon any cheaters every single time I played Super Mecha Champions. And that says a lot because technically, like I said, I'm undefeated in Super Mecha Champions. So literally, I never once stumbled upon a cheater. And if I did, then they just sucked. Now, going back into these other topics, so don't have any hours, like under 40 hours, were cheaters really that bad? And then there's this really long post going, here's the gist, depending on where you play, the cheaters were more noticeable. I played on mobile and Steam because this was also a mobile game. On mobile, the cheaters were way more blatant, shots going through walls, NPC robots killing players. I'm guessing this was supposed to say Hot Steel, which was one of the mechs that you could play. Hot Steel firing Raven projectiles. It was insane. All kinds of crazy stuff happened on mobile. Even team-ups and solo matches on Steam, where on Steam there were fewer players overall. My mistake. And when you did encounter cheaters, it was harder to tell if the player was just really good or using cheats. The suspicion was that some players were indeed using cheats like wall hacks or infinite fuel for certain mechs, which were more subtle to notice. And of course, there was the classic aimbot, although it's pretty controversial. Now, like I said, I squared up with different players here on Steam, and some of them I can tell were either just starting out, while others were really giving me a good run for my money. But I had not, well, at the very least, to my knowledge, encountered any cheaters. And if I did, like I said, I'm gonna repeat myself, they sucked, even using cheats. Like, if you're that bad and you're cheating, just stop playing games in general. Go do something else. Now, there is a little bit more to this, and you know what? I got an idea. Once again, I disabled everything, but if you want to pause it and read the whole thing for yourself, you can. Now, here's another one which I feel like is a lot more accurate. I'm pretty sure it's because Marvel Rivals took off and NetEase developed both. This is what I also feel most likely happened, because with the success that Marvel Rivals has had in such a short period of time, people are going to want to play, well, they're going to want to prioritize on what's going to sell, and in this case it was Marvel Rivals. So in order for Rivals to be completed, Super Mecha Champions had to get cut. It's just business, it's just how things work. I have over 400 hours in the game. I really enjoyed it, and I wish they could bring it back up, but with a cost to purchase the game, There is not another game in the market that is SMC. I did not run into the cheater situation. Then again, I only played on PC. I would hate to play this game on mobile. I was ranked top 5 with trios on the US server. It's super sad to see this game gone. If the game does decide to come back, or if NetEase decides to resurrect this game, like with SMC2, if that's a possibility, they're gonna have to try a little bit harder in order to keep a player base. So since it is a battle royale, I feel like maybe changing things up. Well, here's the thing. They had a team deathmatch mode. They had various different modes, but you could tell from the gameplay that its primary focus was the battle royale, and nobody plays battle royales anymore. This one says cheaters, lack of players, lots of bots, so the player base was really small. Yeah, the player base really was small, but it wasn't as small as people would think. I mean, you didn't have to wait that long in order to queue up in a match. You could easily just get into a battle royale, load into singles, you can load into trios, you could load into, again, like I said, team deathmatch, and the wait time wasn't bad. Gacha draw rate also too low, but this is something that I should probably mention. So gacha draw rate, this did have gacha elements. I never tried my luck on any gachas. I never put any money into this game. I get it, that's how they gotta make their money, but at the very least, if they do decide to bring it back, I understand the appeal of gacha, but I really don't think anybody should be doing gacha anymore. I mean, the gacha system slash the loot box system, those have been completely faded out of games, and primarily because people are just sick and tired of rolling the dice to try to get something good. Let's say they were to lock a specific weapon that you wanted in a gacha slash loot box, and you would have to spend so much money just to get your hands on that. A good example of this is gonna have to be using Genshin Impact. Almost, I believe, $4,000 into gachas just to get one weapon. Yeah, if they were to resurrect Super Mecha Champions, don't do gacha. At the very least, do what you're doing in Marvel Rivals and use a battle pass system instead, and make sure that they don't expire, because that's what really sold me onto Marvel Rivals. Okay, and here's a few more. I'm just gonna run over some of the basics. So 1, zero marketing. 2, lack of proper maintenance. 3, devs didn't care about the game nor the community. 4, the game had a very scammy gacha system. 5, even when there were 100 plus players in the US lobby, the devs did some kind of lock on max real players in one game. 6, a lot of evens skipped PC client or even US server. I'm guessing this was supposed to say events. The devs literally never cared, mainly lack of maps. Definitely Rivals. This was another comment about Marvel Rivals. And here's another one that this one I feel like should be addressed. So I remember quitting the game when I tried to play on PC and could not use my skins and character from mobile. That was very disappointing because I used to play a lot on mobile and spent some money on it. Not being able to sync your progress and have to start again killed it for me. After that, I stopped buying stuff and progressing. I barely played on PC. It was amazing to play key and mouse though. Yeah, so for those who wanted to try to use the stuff that they got on one platform and switching it over or adding it to another, that was not possible. So if NetEase does decide to revisit this again, they should add that as an option. So if they were to revive this game, Super Mecha Champions 2, well, first things first, I understand the appeal for mobile games, but at the very least, just don't worry about mobile and just go straight into the consoles and the PC gaming side of things, because mobile gaming has, well, it started to die out. And make sure that cross progression is a thing, because by involving or slash adding cross progression, you're pretty much encouraging players to continue playing your games throughout whatever console they have. And some people own multiple consoles. But here's another comment, and this is something that I might be able to relate a little bit. So I miss my Firefox. I miss it too, because the Firefox was my favorite mech to use in the game. If only some community members could revive it. I've seen a few games on the revival at the moment. Death Garden, Blood Harvest, and Battleborn are now playable again thanks to the communities. Maybe with the right people and enough, the game can become playable again. And that's wishful thinking, but here's the thing about NetEase. They're not exactly the kind of people that would just graciously hand over the keys to any of their IPs. NetEase does have a bit of a shady history when it comes to their games, but I'm not going to cross that off as a possibility because realistically speaking, if they're willing to just let the community that has been built through Super Mecha Champions just be able to create a fan game, I really hope that they do and that they're allowed to do so. But all in all, this is also a good example as to what not to do when it comes to games. So if you're going to be creating a game that people really enjoy, you got to make sure you take care of it. If you're creating a game, make sure you promote it enough. Make sure you get good word of mouth. Always keep it up to date, always maintain it, listen to the community, and don't be greedy. Because with gacha systems, yeah, there's a reason why people are not spending money on gacha games anymore. If anything, we can take everything that happened from Super Mecha Champions and just add that into the list of things that went right and went wrong. Everything that happened, it happened for a reason. And I hope whoever watches this, if they do decide to create a game, that they can take the lessons learned from this game, the good and the bad, and apply that into their own games that they're gonna create. Anyways, that's the end of the video. I really hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, leave a like and also subscribe to my channel and turn on those post notifications so that you never miss out on a video or a live stream. And if you would like to help support the channel, check out buymeacoffee.com/enigma. Links for everything will be down in the description box below. And as always, this is San Diego Shooting Star, signing out.